Are we working tomorrow? No? Yes? Maybe? It's one of those boring mornings where I just get to stare at air. Hi, Miss Jess. Hi, Miss Fabi. Hi, Miss Erica. Hey, Trey.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I don't know if the office is open tomorrow or not. I think it's closed on the first.
I don't have any appointments tomorrow, but I plan on working from my computer.
Good. I like it. I like it.
A little bit, yes.
All right. Say to one, have some fun. What are your wins, your celebrations? Something you're just dang proud of.
I set boundaries.
That a girl. Tell me more.
Um, I just told them that if they wanted to see like in a certain area, and I just explained to them like kind of if they wanted to if they wanted to go look at a certain area, that I was going to require at least a couple showings, and I was going to need at least 24 hours notice from them to be able to see something. Like it wasn't just a quick turnaround for me to just pop in and show a property. And then I explained a little bit more about like how I do things on the back end to be able to give them the information so that they can make the best decision possible, whether they want it or not. And so I think coming from that perspective, they understood instead of me being like, no, I can't just show you the house on
No.
a drop of a
No.
hat. So
No.
they understood.
I like it.
Yeah, I had a little anxiety around it, but I just took care of it.
There you go. All right. Next win, celebration, something you're just dang proud of. I'm proud of you, Fabi, for setting boundaries. I know that that's very difficult to do.
Picked up a buyer client at my open house this past weekend.
Yeah, you did. That's awesome.
Those
Showed them.
clients I told you about yesterday, the ones that are self-employed and don't claim enough, we found them a lender that could possibly help them amend their taxes and still keep their write-offs and whatnot. So chances are a bit higher now for them to get approved.
Okay. Love that. Come on, guys, don't make me draw it out of you all one by one. It really becomes monotonous.
Yeah.
I have, oh, hang on, sorry. I have an incoming call. Okay. I have inspections on my new build today.
I love
Mhm.
that. Love that.
Yeah.
I don't know if mine's a win, but at the Christmas party, when I was talking to Chad, I committed to accepting every Zillow call that came through. I've missed maybe like two or three, and I've taken so many that I feel a little overwhelmed because nobody is jumping the gun. I feel like everyone's going to come off the fence at once, and I'm nervous, but I'm excited, and it just feels empowering to take the calls when before I just found some reason not to.
There we go. Very empowering. Next. Anyone see the file I put in the group chat yesterday? 9 questions to ask yourself for year-end review. Right.
Hmm.
Right. I put that in the chat for you guys to choose, and we'll do it again now. Question 1. What made you proud? Right? Anyone got something that made you proud last year, this year, the last 364 days?
Uh,
I do.
All right,
I'm
Christina, put on
proud
your.
of
your-
doing more than last year.
Okay. You achieved a better year financially and production wise.
Yep.
Okay.
I
You want-
mentioned mine yesterday.
Yep, you
about
got your broker's license. Proud of you for that too. You should be proud.
Oh, Audra, nice job. That's awesome.
Thanks,
Yeah,
Christina.
Christina was
I
in-
missed the call yesterday. My bad. Sorry. I
Are
was
you
in the
still
big,
in?
yeah, I'm in the Big Apple with fam.
There you go. Love that.
Yeah.
All right.
I never thought I would leave a team, and then I did, and it was the best thing ever.
Look at you. Running strong, girlfriend.
Same.
There you go. Fabby did the same just recently too. You're gonna be
Yeah.
on fire. Next question. What did you learn? What did I learn? All right, here's where things get tough.
Yeah.
What did you learn? Maybe those who left the team, you learned to be able to stand on your own. You learned that you were capable of doing things yourself.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Maybe others learn not to rely on the testimony of others because ultimately they'll let you down.
Yes, actually.
I think
learned
I learned how to do a lot of the stuff on the buyer side just a lot faster, but still efficient
there you go.
with all the forms and whatnot.
I like that.
Yeah.
A lot more efficiency. Move to it.
I became more confident on the seller side
There you
and
go.
how to handle multiple offers and talk to buyers agents.
There you
Like
go.
not give up too much information, but you use them to kind of maneuver a higher price.
I learned a ton of stuff from the broker calls that so few people take advantage of. I learned things every single call.
little jabs. So I'll share some of I took a deep dive to this. I actually spent over an hour and a half last night with these questions, 9 questions on ChatGPT and myself, going deeper, like a coaching thing now. I learned that avoiding hard conversations does not preserve the peace in my life. It only compounds costs, resentment, and misalignment. Leadership requires speed, clarity, and enforcement. Delaying standards become future exits, and those exits are always more expensive, both emotionally and financially, when you address it too late. Big lesson there. And this is just going over my lessons for the year too, is I learned that if I don't handle things now, they tend to get worse. Anyone else have that same thing, right?
Yeah.
If you don't take care of a leaky ceiling, it's going to get worse. If you don't take care of a leaky business, it's going to get worse. So that led into who did I lead, right? Who did you lead this year?
Mhm.
It's a tough question, right? You can say yourself, I led myself. Did you lead your family?
Yeah.
In my position as a leader, it was very easy. I had 3 of you that I named off the top of my head. I didn't have to really think very much about it because I knew that I led my agents
Yeah.
whose performance, mindset, and personal standards have measurably changed.
Me.
Now, you were one of them that jumped out at me right away. People, just an example. And if I go into my chat GPT and it says, here's some depth to it, guys. I spent, like I said, a ton of time. Let's go to question 3. Scroll. 3A. Name up to 3 people whose behavior, trajectory, or standards are measurably better because your leadership this year. Right? Not just who did I lead. Name 3 people whose behavior, trajectory, or standards are measurably better because of your leadership. Well, Dan, I'm not a leader. You are, though. Who in your life is following in your footsteps? Your kids, your friends, your loved ones, other people's kids, friends, and loved ones, right? Not people's potential, not their intentions, but pure raw evidence. Who do you know in your life that has improved because of your leadership? Think about that. Anyone come to mind?
Yeah, I can say my children.
I know you can, Audra.
My kiddos for sure.
Yeah, Trey can definitely say that.
One of my good friends.
Yep. Fabi pushed her friends to do something. Right? How does that make you feel when you say that? Is like, who did I lead this year? You're like, nobody, and then you start thinking about that. Okay. Here was one of the most uncomfortable parts of that question for me. This is expanding upon John Maxwell's "Who did I lead?" It's who should have been led by me this year, but wasn't, because I avoided friction, clarity, or consequences. Right? This was wrong. Who didn't you lead? For myself, I wrote down, I learned that I underled my team, my family at times by avoiding structure and boundaries, mistaking presence for leadership. Leadership needs to be applied more consistently, right? Have you underled people in your life by just being there, but not challenging poor behavior?
Yes.
Right? Going forward, I will only lead people who are willing to blank without being chased.
Willing to follow.
There you go. Willing to follow.
Yeah.
How about this? Those willing to show up with ownership, with consistency, show up prepared. How many of you on this call show up every day prepared to work? And who do I pour into most? Right? That's the thing, is I also know that I'm only going to lead the people that want to be led. Right? I'm going to lead the people that show up consistently, ready for challenges, ready for work, even when it's inconvenient. That was the big part of things, is even when it was inconvenient. How many of us find the easy way out of something? Isn't that underleading? Like, you know what? I lead horses through tough pastures. Right? You are shepherded through darkness because it's night. So I like that. That was one of the things I came up with, is I also lead. No longer am I going to lead people that I have to chase. If you want to show up, and show up, great. If you don't show up in your business, I better not see you at my table. That's some harsh truth coming into 2026. If you don't want to learn and do better, don't waste my time. Same thing with you guys, right? If you don't want to do, don't waste my time. Show up for those who show up consistently, even when it's inconvenient. Question 4. What held me back? A lot of you can answer this one. Come on.
Fear.
This is where excuses go to die, my friends. Right?
You mean who held me back?
That too. What held me back, right? Well, let's dive into, okay, let's go. One about fear, one about comfort. Fear, Audra. What was the fear that held you back?
Calling.
Calling, okay. The fear of calling held you back.
Last year, I guess. This year, no. Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
We're talking 2025 still. We're doing a 3-day recap.
Okay.
Someone finish this sentence. What held me back most this year was my tendency to do blank instead of blank. Jess, give it a shot.
Well, that question is harder. I had an answer when you asked the first question, like what held me back, and it was my fear to succeed alone.
Okay.
We talked about that at the summit.
Yep, my fear to succeed alone. Okay, let's talk about that. So it's your tendency to do what that keeps you from being successful?
Honestly, like disappear into
Okay.
a black hole.
Small.
So it's your tendency to hide instead of facing difficult situations?
Yeah.
Isn't are we shining some flashlights on some real shit? Right. For myself, I'd rather go with comfortable than difficult. I allowed uncertainty to delay my action, right? Using incomplete clarity as a reason to pause rather than to move forward and adjust. All right. I allowed not knowing to keep me from going forward. Raise your hand if you're aligned with that. Right. The lack of clarity kept me from moving forward. I allowed not knowing what I was doing to keep me from figuring it out. How's that one for a truth? Right? What uncomfortable action did you repeatedly delay? Even though you knew you were better? Phone calls? Reaching out to people, having conversations with your sphere of influence, right?
Showing up.
Networking.
Showing up, right? What held you back? All right. Question 5. Do you still love what you do?
Yes,
There you go. Quick answer. Why?
because I like helping people, I like meeting people, and I like homes. I like working with homes.
Okay.
I like how it's like made me challenge myself and how like learning this business and learning how to work with different people has like changed me as a person.
There you go. It definitely has changed you. I've seen you growth in just the last year, Fabs. We've loved seeing it. Now we see more. But let's dive deeper than do you still love what you do? Kind of a simple question, isn't it? Let's break it apart. What part of your work gives you energy when you're tired? Someone answer. Someone new. What part of what you do gives you energy when you're tired?
Mine's the chase, the negotiation, and then the friendship built working with clients.
There you go. The
Ditto.
chase.
The
Chase.
mission.
Love that chase. All right, I'm just driven by the money. The money makes her excited, right? Dollars in my bank account adds ounces to my energy. Got it. All right, let's flip the table. What part of what you do creates resentment or drain, even if you're good at it?
When I have to create boundaries.
Okay.
Man, mine's
I would-
consistency.
I'd agree with Bobby.
Yeah.
Right?
I have to remind people that like, this is not like a 24, I mean it is. I don't know. 24/7, I'm available whenever you want. You disregard
no.
me. Like
This is that was an important thing, right? The boundaries. You're all feeling that energy now. It's not just do I still love what I do? It's where can I put more boundaries so I can keep doing it longer?
yeah.
Yes.
Not everything's a
still love-
yes.
Right.
I think-
I still love what I
And
do.
the rejection.
I love
I think
rejection.
my resentment comes from my other business, and that's it because I really love the real estate business, but my other business has just been taking away a lot of my time. So I'm kind of building like I still love it, but I'm just getting some resentment towards it at the same time. So
So my response is yes. When my work creates leverage, growth, and visible impact. I love what I do when I see you guys win. I am most energized by developing people who execute and succeed. I am drained by repetitive administration, unbound problem solving, and carrying responsibility and capabilities of individuals who choose to not lead themselves. In other words, it drains me to no end when I have to do it for you because you won't do it for yourself. Some of you have been in my office when I take a broker call from someone who just habitually won't fucking do it themselves. Sorry for the language, but it needed to be there. Drains me to no end. I love helping people solve problems. I hate doing it for them. Anyone else align the same way? right?
Mhm.
Clients that just want you to do everything for them. Dude, you can do it yourself. But it makes me so happy to see people win. That gives me so much energy, unboundless energy. The lack of passion is always a source of burnout for some people. For me, it's misalignment. If I've got someone who just expects me to do it for them, I lose love and care for that person. If someone wants to be like, hey, I just don't quite understand what you said. Can you elaborate and then help me put it into work? I'm all there. But don't send me an email and say, would you respond to this client? No. I will, but I will put a mark on your gravestone in my head. Right? Number 6, am I willing to pay the price again this next year? Right? The price I paid for 2025, the discomfort, the time, the money, the experts, everything you did. Are you willing to do it again in 2026?
Yes.
There you go. Right? Yes. All right, let's talk about 2 different questions on that, right? Next year, I refuse to keep paying the price of blank. Some deep dive, right? Next year, I refuse to keep paying the price of blank.
Small.
What's that?
Playing small.
Playing small. Love that. Great answer. I refuse to keep paying the price of playing small. That's deep. I like that. Okay. Now finish this one, Fabi. I'm willing to pay the price of blank, but only if blank.
Only if it aligns with my 2026 goals.
I'm
Yeah.
only willing to pay the price of blank, whatever it is, right?
Mhm.
If it aligns with my goals, right? That's very similar to what I wrote. I am no longer willing to pay the price for mistakes I did not make, decisions I did not approve, or efforts other people chose not to give. It goes in alignment with the question above. You can tell where my sourness came in, right? I'm no longer going to pay the tab on your shitty decisions. I'm only willing to endure discomfort, confrontation, and short-term instability when it compounds into freedom, health, and income for my family. I'm only willing to do things that align with my goals. And those goals are freedom, health, and income. If you screw up, I'm not paying the tab. I will help you figure it out. I'll help you solve it, but I'm not doing it for you. Now, don't think I'm talking to anyone specifically. Actually, the people I'm talking to aren't on this call, and that's the problem. But when it's someone else's issue, right? Don't people want you to fix things when it's your problem? Like you guys have heard my mom, right? My mom a lot. My mom has a bunch of problems in life, and who has to fix them?
Yeah.
At what expense? Health, income, peace, and freedom. No, thank you. Mom, I love you to death, but you're going to have to solve your own problems. I've given you every resource possible to be successful. I can't be the answer every time. So it's not just work, it may be life. Number 7, what's the most important thing right now? For Christina, it's warmth and gloves. She's on the subway. Right? What is the most important thing right now? All right.
Working towards your goal.
Working towards your goal. All right. If only one thing meaningful improves in the next 90 days, what will it be? Time management for Christina. For a lot of you, it's time management. It's schedule.
Time management.
Time management, right?
Lead gen too.
Okay. Lead gen. Okay. Let's talk about it. To protect the priority, I must stop or significantly reduce doing what?
Getting distracted.
Okay. By what?
Saying yes to too many other things.
There you go.
By everything that comes up that
Right.
gets you off your goal of
I say yes to too much too, just like Christina. I love that. Saying yes to too many things, right? The most important thing right now, right? How will you know you chose correctly? Well, if in 90 days, what shows up? Maybe
Commission.
that's more commission. Maybe that's more pipeline activities. Maybe that's a more balanced calendar, right? Caitlin, you came off mute. What's your thought?
I just said more business.
More business, right? So for me, it was the most important focus is relentless prioritization of dollar productive activities and asset building work. Busy will no longer tolerate, right? I will no longer tolerate being busy over being profitable. We prioritize busy to feel good when 80% of the shit doesn't make us money.
Yeah.
So let's prioritize the things that do. Prioritize dollar productive over active. I want to be successful. That means I'm going to have to cut some fat. Which leads us into number 8. What do I need to change? The habit I must change immediately is saying yes to everybody.
I stopped doing that. My friends really like to go out. They love to be social. And as I started sharing with them, like my goals, like the calls that I'm on and every morning, I was like, no, guys, I don't want to go to the same bar that you guys go to every day, every weekend to do the same shit, And like I started specifically talking to one of my girlfriends and I feel like she's starting to kind of get on like the same bandwagon that I'm on as far as like cutting those types of activities out. And I feel like more of my friends are starting to like hear me.
I love that. The boundary I must enforce, even if it disappoints people, is what Fabi just said, right? The boundary I must enforce, even if it disappoints people. That was hard for me. And even my AI asked me this. He goes, before we move on, I have one question for you. Are you willing to let people be disappointed with you this year, even if it means don't disappoint yourself? Man, this year I have put myself in second, third, eighth place so many times, right? I must stop defaulting to the easiest options. Instead, I choose the discipline action in small daily decisions. I must enforce boundaries that protect my goals, even when it disappoints others. Even when it disappoints others. Your loved ones are just going to have to deal with disappointment. This is short-term discomfort for long-term peace, health, financial freedom. I am choosing discipline over indulgence and rejecting a lifestyle built on convenience. I'm going to do the hard shit because I want better for myself. Better for me is better for we. Do you agree?
Yes, yes.
Right. Last question. What is my word of the year? This is something you guys can think about, and I'm going to leave you on it. I'm going to set you off with mine. Standards. My law for the year is that I do not tolerate in myself, my business, or my life what does not meet my standards, even if it's uncomfortable. If your standard is that your laundry gets put away the day that you wash it, don't go to bed until it's done. I know it's not comfortable. Do it anyways. If your standard is to have the dishes out of the sink every day, then when you get home and you're tired and exhausted, you're still going to wash the dishes. I laughed at that word when it came up because I was bouncing around with it. Christina and I had actually talked about that. We called hers policies. That's against my policy. It's out of compliance. That's against the policy. Right?
Rule number 17-27.
Yep, there you go. No fuckboys. Can't have it. When we have standards, guys, you uphold them. And they're personal standards, not something I'm going to give you. It's something you're going to give yourself. So if you have not taken the time to do the 9 questions, do them again. Do them now. If you use ChatGPT, it was a really awesome exercise. And to give you guys some insight, that same 9 questions, this is what it looked like my depth of each one, right? It was long, arduous, very in depth, clarity focused, lots of depth, more questions, and finally a resolve. It wasn't 9 questions. It turned out to be 38 questions. But those 38 questions helped have this conversation with you guys this morning. I was on fire with that. I do not tolerate in myself, my business, or my life what does not meet my standards, even when it's uncomfortable. That last part was the tough one, even when it's uncomfortable. Man, I'm a people pleaser. You may not know this, but I'm a people pleaser. I love to say yes to people. I love to give people what they want. But sometimes that path of least resistance is the path that leads you to the fastest failure. So was today worth your time?
Always.
Definitely.
All right. In the group chat is that file on our WhatsApp chat. So take it, download it, look at it. This is for you. You don't need to share it back to us. I just wanted to share mine with you so you guys can see to take this stuff serious and really do the introspection. The self-work right now is what's going to launch you better. It's not just new year, new me. It's like, let's take a deep dive and go, okay, that worked, that didn't. Let's keep that theme going.